Hi, my name is William. I'm 25 years old, and welcome to episode 8 of
CW double S.
I hope you had a good week so far. We have the 3 topics today. The 3 topics are, if I remember correctly, because I forgot to write them down, writing down your thoughts, trying new things, and lastly, staying consistent on the things you already do. So, of course, first the weekly recap. I hope you guys have been good. I hope you had a good week. Easter just happened. I'm recording this on Monday, the 10th. So yesterday was Easter. If you celebrate Easter, I hope you had a great Easter. If you don't, I hope you got to eat some chocolate. If you do eat chocolate, if you're a chocolate lover like myself. And regardless, I had a pretty, I would say, underwhelming week. It was more like not a lot of things happened. I just kind of just lived. But it allowed me to think of where I am creatively wise and kind of let me get ideas of where I want to be, So what I've been doing lately is going on walks every day. I think I said this on the last episode, but I've been going for walks lately. And on my walks, I either talk to myself, listen to music, listen to a podcast, or read a book. Right now it's raining, so I couldn't read today, but my walk was pretty chill. I got to express myself to myself, I guess, some more, and then I just listened to music and just I'm trying to just get a lot of steps in because I want to be active, because I feel like I stay home a lot, or I'm not as into exercise as I want to be, and that's a bad thing for me personally. I want to be more, I want to be more in shape than I am right now. And it's not like I'm not comfortable in my body. I truly am. I just feel like I could be more comfortable, and I can also reach more of a confidence boost the more I work on my body. So yeah, I think that's a personal thing. If you want to lose weight, if you don't want to lose weight, that's up to you. It's honestly just how you feel. And also health-wise, I am also diabetic, so health-wise, exercise is very good for me. And yeah. Anyway, on to the topics. Let's talk about trying new things first. Why not? So that was a really short recap because I did not do a lot this week. I think I met up with Tina yesterday, and that's about it. I have no real crazy stories to tell. Anyway, that aside, week's finished. Trying new things. When you try new things, it's scary. It's intimidating. It's like, oh shit. Like, if I try and fail, people will see me as a failure. And if I don't try, people will still see me as a failure. And of course, trying or doing anything is not for people necessarily. It's mostly for you, regardless of what they may say or whoever you're trying to please or gather attention from. Everything at the end of the day is for you. So, that being said, when you try new things, it's a little scary because you don't know where to start. You don't know how to start, and you don't exactly know if you're going to be as comfortable trying this new thing than you are staying comfortable doing everything that you regularly do. You could take an example of playing a sport. If you're really good at playing basketball and your friends invite you to play football, you have 2 different sports where the same goal is there, like put the ball in the hoop or put the ball in the goal, but it's attained differently. You have to do it in a different form. So it kind of can be intimidating because you don't know if you're as good or as competent as you are when you play basketball. But I think you should just, remove that or try to remove that from your head when you're trying something new. It's just like, okay, I'm new at this, and everyone was new at this before me, so I should just understand that it takes time to become better at these things, and granted, you're trying right now, but if you want this to become a more regular thing, then you got to keep trying. You can't just try and then assume that you know. It's better to keep trying, even the further you are in something. Like, hell, I've done 8 podcast episodes, and I still feel like I haven't found my groove and I haven't found my comfort zone. And also I want to bring guests in. So that's also another new thing that I'm kind of scared to try, because I don't know how the guests themselves will feel entering my safe space. And I say safe space because I'm allowed to say anything here alone. But if I have someone else, will I fake it, or will I try and please the other person instead of truly staying true to myself, And that's a lot of obstacles that we have when we're trying new things. Is like, we want to seem proficient at these things already when we know nothing. So it's best to just go in and admit that you don't know what you're doing, to yourself and to the other people, if there's other people involved. And, then you get honest help, you get actual feedback that matters, instead of, oh, you didn't know that? I'm surprised. Well, you could do it like this, but, maybe you have a different way of doing it. It's better to you both, if it's 2 people, if it's, a group of people, or if it's just yourself, you go in and learn as much as you can from the beginning. So there's not that much of a big learning curve later on. It's just like small information doses will start becoming more regular, and you'll start understanding things better for yourself. And eventually it won't be trying, but you'll be doing, And so a lot of times I tell people, oh, I'm trying to become an actor, but I've already acted in things. So I have to stop saying trying to become an actor, because I'm acting, I'm an actor. And when you get that mindset, when you start thinking like, okay, I am already this because I tried it, and while trying it, I enjoyed it enough to just take a step further, and now I want to do it. When you start in that mentality, the information that you start to receive from people who have done it or who are doing it is more concrete, I feel, than when you're trying something, or when you inform people that you're trying, because now they take you seriously. It's weird. It's like, I'm trying to, I don't know. I'm trying to become a photographer. When I started street photography, I just did it myself, right? So I just took pictures of people and stuff, and my pictures are trash. Like, no composition, no angles, no subject, no intention. And so I really fucking needed help. I didn't know I needed help until my brother told me, like, yo, your pictures are cool. Like, you have a picture, but there's no objective. Like, what are you on the picture of? What's the picture of? Or who's the picture about? And so it really like boggled my mind. I didn't think of that at all. I just thought I was, taking cool pictures, and that's all I needed to do. So I started really thinking about it. I started like observing what I like to see when I just look outside, and I realized like, when I take a picture, I want this. I want to show someone walking in that direction. I want to see an item in someone's hands, or, there's a lot of things that catch my eye when I walk, and I wanted my photography to be a representation of that. And so thanks to my brother, who he is a photographer, he doesn't take as many pictures as he used to, but thanks to him, I was able to kind of like think of what I wanted. So when I was trying, he helped guide me to do what I wanted to do. And now I'm doing it. Now I believe I can confidently say that I'm a street photographer, in the sense that my photos are unique and exactly what I want them to be. Some of them might not hit the mark like I want them to, but I know that the essence of my photo that I took is exactly what I like to see in photos. And by doing more photography, I met other photographers And they also said, like, wow, your work's really good. How long have you been doing this? And I tell them I've been doing it for X amount of months, and they've been doing it for years and whatnot. And they're like, wow, this is really good. Keep it up. It's good to see fellow young street photographers. And so there, I was able to be around a group of people that already do it and are doing it. And so it lessened the trying effect. It felt not like I'm a beginner, but I'm now part of like the big boys, And of course, there's long ways to go. There's magazines. There's so many steps to photography, or there's so many steps in anything you're doing that you might not feel like you're doing, and you're still trying. It might not feel like, oh, I'm not yet where I want to be, so that doesn't count like doing to me. I'm not doing what I want to do yet. And to that, I kind of agree. I can totally understand, especially as an actor. I can understand, oh, I've not yet acted as the main role for a movie, so I'm not acting yet. I'm trying to act, or that I can get that mentality. But I feel like it's also flawed because you've made it so many steps past the door that you just entered through. Like now you're no longer you can't see the door anymore because people in the industry, how to do things differently than you used to. You become comfortable in front of the camera. You've learned so many things that the door that you initially, were scared of trying to open is now just like a figment of your imagination, because all you see now is what you wanted to do. And now you're doing it. You might not be doing it at the level you intended to reach yet, or you still intend to reach, but that doesn't mean you're not doing it, And so that's why I think trying new things is scary, because when you try it, it's comfortable, or it's easy, or it's new, so it's exciting. And then when you start doing it, it can start going down in excitement levels, or it can start going down in easiness, because now people know you're proficient, people know you're good at it. So they're going to come to you for more things in such manner, like, "Ooh, you're a photographer, right? Can you take pictures of my family dinner? Oh, you're, and that can put a lot of stress on your shoulders. But you also have to remember that this is what you like doing. You have to remember that you're doing this because you want to do it. You tried it in the first place because you wanted to see if you could do it in the last place. Does that make sense? And I'm becoming more and more confident in my abilities to do after trying than just keep on trying. I feel like I'm reaching a point where I know what I want to do. I just got to do it. And I have to stop trying to pretend I know that I can't do it. Because I keep trying to make excuses for myself when I could just do it and then see how I feel about it. So I guess trying new things can also be changed into do it and see how it works. Just try it, like rip it off like a bandage. Just do it first time and then see how you feel about it. If you don't like it, then try again. Just in case. You might give it a little to try, depending on what it is. If it's a one-time thing, I don't know. If it costs money to go to acting school and you didn't like acting school or something, then maybe save your money. Use your money on something else. Topic number 2 was it confidence? I should have wrote these down. That was a bad idea. But I think it's confidence in your abilities. We're going to change it. It's confidence in your abilities now. I do not remember what it was. And basically what this entails, I like that word, is that we sometimes believe that we're not good enough at things. So we opt to make other people do it, or we ask other people to do it for us, or we find ways to lessen the load that we have to do because we're not confident enough to do it. Which is really flawed, which is really bad, because we should be very proud of things that we can do. Let's take photography for another example. When I was invited to take photos of the conference that I did a few months ago, I was kind of scared. I was like, okay, dude, I don't know how to do this. I've never done it. And like, what if I'm not good enough? What if they don't like my photos or something like that? But I knew that I was confident enough in what I liked. So I knew I liked the pictures I take. So I was happy with what I did before the conference. So I was like, you know what? Why do I have to stress before the conference when I know what I like already? So if I go there, I'll be able to do what I do. I won't have to change anything. I don't have to do anything differently. I'll just do what I do, and it's going to be enough, you know? So being confident in your own abilities is more like, you know, you're put on a pedestal or put somewhere higher than you think you're supposed to be, or someone pays you more or offers more money than you're used to getting for a job or for I don't know, like clean my lawn. And then they're like, ooh, but I've seen you clean a lot of lawns recently. Here's, you know, $70 and you're used to getting 20. You're like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But maybe you deserve it. Maybe you're good enough for the money that they want to give you. Or maybe you're good enough for the task they want to give you. Oh, could you clean my gutter? I know you have a ladder. You're pretty nimble. You can, you know, and a lot of times we opt not to do these things, or we're like, yeah, can you ask someone else? Or I can ask a professional, you know, but you have to remember when an opportunity is given from someone else to you, there's a lot of times they see you as what you don't see yourself as yet. Like they see the full potential, or they see where you should be, but you aren't in your head. And you should just grasp at those opportunities. And that's the scary part of being confident in your own ability, is you don't know if it's going to be good enough or if it's going to be bad. But all you know is that if you try, there's a higher possibility that you are going to do it pop off. You're just going to, first time, boom. And then you succeeding in that, I guess you could say, new area, you succeeding will allow other people to notice that, oh, wow, she succeeded at something that they're not used to doing. Like now we can totally offer more higher skilled situations, or I don't know, like, oh, I saw you were really good at, you know, this. Could you do that for me as well? We'll pay you extra. Or, you know, if you do this for us, we'll give you a meal. Or, yeah, I don't know how it works with mundane tasks, but, you know, it's an example. There's a lot of examples I can, you know, grab off of, but I could take another example like boxing. I used to do kickboxing with my brother. And we weren't really good. We were like there for like 3 weeks and we stopped. But I remember on the third week, they asked my brother, I think, or me, I'm not 100% sure, it was Dutch, but they asked us if we wanted to go for our first fight. And we're like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, you know, I've been training for a bit now. So, you know, you have the warm speed and, you know, you're nimble. But we felt like we were still training, you know, we didn't think we were good enough to have a real fight. And it was just like, yeah, it's just a sparring fight. You don't really have to fight. There's no crowd or anything. But I think we said no. But in my head, I thought, if I'm sparring with a guy, I'll just lose instantly. I didn't even think of the possibility of winning. I was just like, yeah, that's just dumb. Why would I do that? I'm just going to get knocked out, or I'm just going to, you know, make a fool out of myself. But the trainer guy believed in our abilities enough. So he had confidence in our abilities when we did not have confidence in our own. I'm pretty sure maybe if I was in that fight or the spar, there's a chance that I could have done something crazy. You know what I'm saying? I could have done 1-2-1-2. Or I would have got my ass whooped. Whatever. Regardless, it doesn't matter. It's the past. But if I had tried, I wouldn't. Now I don't know. I can only assume what I could have done. But if I tried, then I would have known, and I would have been more comfortable in my abilities as a fighter today. Because now I just can't fight. I mean, you put a guy in front of me, I'm just like, yo, listen. Let's talk it out. Let's use our words. Why use fists when you can talk it out? We can speak. What made you so angry at me? To lift your hands up. Anyway, I'm going off track. I think that's enough about confidence in your own abilities. But just know, don't be too scared to try new things while being confident in your own ability of trying new things. These all get together in the end. And the last topic, now this one I completely forgot. I think and staying consistent in the things you already do. I think that's what it was. So when you try new things, they often take precedent over the things you already do. So you're trying new things, you're going to the gym. Now you start going to the gym and you're more confident in going to the gym. You're like, yeah, I can, But then you start forgetting to cook meals. So you start eating out, or you start forgetting to, regularly meet up with your friends on the weekend when you used to do it every day, or used to do it, so much X amount of times, but now you keep going out, or you keep going to the gym, excuse me. So it's great to try new things, but it's also great to not forget what you used to do, what used to keep you, to the point that you are now. The fact that you're even able to try these new things is because of what you used to do. So I'm saying this in the sense of, when I started street photography, I really put all my eggs in one basket because I really enjoyed it. So I'd go out almost every day, I think, and I would walk 6 kilometers just taking pictures of people. And it reached a point where I'd stop streaming, and I used to stream about every day. Don't hold me accountable to that, Philly. But anyway, I used to stream often. And when I started street photography, I would stream much less because I'd be outside. And granted, this is a new thing, so I got to give it time. I have to believe in it, so I have to do the work. But when I would come home, I still had time to stream, but I would choose not to stream because I would make an excuse. I'm like, I'm tired from walking, or, I have to take pictures tomorrow, so I can't do this today. And little by little, I started to lose what I liked doing before photography. And so when I started taking photos more regularly, I started doing photography. I started to regain a love for streaming again. And so I started streaming more often, and it started to take precedent over my photography. And so it's I kept on losing balances. I'd do one more, then I'd do one less, then I'd do... And it reached a point where I realized okay, I have to choose one or the other, which is not the case. I can do both. I just have to time myself. I have to make sure I'm giving each of them the respect they deserve. And that's what I realized, especially with the podcast, is I'm able to do all these things. I have the time and I have the capabilities. I also love, creating content. So why should I have to conform in only doing one, or focusing 100% on one, when I know my abilities in photography are this good? I know my abilities in making videos are this good. And I know my abilities as a streamer are this good. So if I just manage all three, I should be able to, have my cake and eat it too, which is exactly where I'm trying to go. Every time I post a podcast on Monday, I'm really happy about myself because I know this is another week where I succeeded in staying consistent in what I love doing. And I hope that, there's always going to be these weeks to keep me grounded. I think every time I do the podcast, I'm able to have my mental diary. I'm able to remember what I wrote down. That was one of the topics. But anyway, I remember what I wrote down or why I wrote it down. And it makes me feel more comfortable, or it makes me feel more at peace, I would say, with all the new things that are happening in my life. Especially when I get a new acting gig, it kind of takes precedent over everything. Now I'm like, okay, today or this day that's coming up, I have to make sure I'm free. I have to make sure I'm free the whole day. I have to cancel all plans. So because I'm going to cancel all plans on that day, I should make sure I do my photography on this day and stream on this day. I should really be able to balance everything out. So I'm using my time optimally And I'm also able to spend time with my friends or play video games on my free time, which I really should not have free time. I should really be 100% working at all times. But yeah, that's about it. That's about what I wanted to talk about this episode. I also did want to talk about writing down your thoughts. I think I mentioned it at the beginning, and I'm going to mention it real quickly here. When you write down what you think, again, this is shout out to my brother. My brother taught me all this shit. When you write down what you think, it allows you to ground your mind and think individually of everything that you did. Maybe let's say you had a really rough week, or you had a really rough month, or the day that you had today was just so much. There's your parents called you, your job was paid in the ass, your fucking car broke down. There's like so many things, and they all pile up, And so sometimes it's really nice to write it down, see what you can handle and what you can't handle. Like, okay, I don't know. Let's say the same example I just said, right? So you write down 4 things. Parents are pissing you off. Job is pain in the ass. Your car broke down. And lastly, you forgot to buy groceries. So what are the things that you can actually fix? And what are the things you're just worrying about because you want to worry? So maybe you can fix okay, I didn't buy groceries. Maybe I can go to the neighbor's house, ask for onions, or I can, see if they have a spare, I don't know, fish. And then you do that. And that's one thing crossed off the list. That's one thing less to worry about. Then you can call the mechanic. Hello, listen, my car has been broken down, because you wrote it all down. Now you can be more peaceful in your head when talking or when doing these things, instead of worrying about everything. And then you start cooking, you burn yourself because you're thinking of the car, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to call my parents, or my job is being such a pain in the ass. I'm really going to try and ask tomorrow off, but I forgot to call them because I was cooking. There's so many things that will get in your way if you don't just focus a little bit, keep yourself grounded and calm, and, just go back to ground zero, put your feet on the fucking floor, and then, I don't know why I swore there, but put your feet on the floor and just, reassess where you at, what you're doing right now, So that's why I write down, not often. I'm not going to say I'm not really good at this whole diary stuff, but I write down what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling, or just like general situations that are happening in my life and what I can actually fix. So what I can fix is making content. I can do that anytime, and I can do it how I want to make it or how I want to do it. Or I can fix street photography. I was like, oh, I'm not taking pictures a lot. I'm not posting a lot. I haven't posted in a month. I'm slacking. I'm like, you know what? Today I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to take photos. I'm going to post them, regardless of how I feel about the past. I know that one of these photos is going to be exactly what I wanted to see. And lo and behold, it was. I took a really quick picture when I was walking 2 days ago, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to post it. It's going to come out tonight, I think. And yeah, I really do hope that you guys like these podcasts. I really do enjoy making them. Even if my voice at the 27 mark really gets a little dry, I should get water on the next episode. I had iced tea on one of the episodes. So I got to go back to that whole drinking during the episodes. Next episode is next Monday. And I know I told you guys I was going to try and get a guest on this episode. Was not able to. We're going to try for Monday again. It's not looking bleak. I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I know a lot of people that want to be on it. I just have to get my ass to their place, and then I have to set up a whole recording thing, and I don't know how to do that perfectly. I don't want to have bad audio. That's my worst nightmare. And I also want to put the camera in a good place so we can both see each other and whatnot. And yeah. Anything else to add? Not really. Hope you guys have a good week ahead of you. We're already almost the 15th. We're almost halfway through the month, which is crazy. I can't believe we're going to be summer so soon. And I hope that you eat well this week, Maybe you should set a goal for yourself. Goal of the week. Ooh, go for a walk. Go for a walk every day this week. Boom. And tell me how you feel about it afterwards. Next week episode, tell me how you feel about the walks you went. It doesn't have to be a long walk. It can be a 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk, 30-minute walk. Just, go out the house, take a few steps, breathe, sit down on a bench, go back in the house. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be long. Just enjoy yourself. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. If you listen on podcast, Spotify, and I'll see you guys next week, Monday.